Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we are going to be comparing the brand new Scarab versus the Khanjali and the Rhino. So I did very similar tests like these when the Doomsday Heist vehicles came out and when the After Hours vehicles came out, and I figured we would do the same here in Arena War, comparing some of the older vehicles to the ones that just came out. Now, before we get started, I want to say a big thank you to my friends Frost, Purple Ninja, and Nord. They were super kind enough to help me record all of these testings. Purple Ninja actually set up all the vehicles that you guys can see right now. So they were a tremendous help, and I obviously couldn't get it done without them. So the three vehicles we're going to be testing today, again, are the brand new Scarab versus the Khanjali and the Rhino Tank. So let's start with the Scarab. So no matter what version of the Scarab you end up choosing, it's going to be $3,076,290 unless you unlock the trade price, and then it drops to $2,313,000. So it is pretty pricey. Now, what's nice about the Scarab is it can be stored in any location, which is different from the other two tanks that we're going to be looking at in this video today. The Khanjali has to be stored in the facility, which is what we should take a look at next. You guys can see here the TM02 Khanjali. The buy it now price is $3,850,350, and the trade price is $2,895,000. So it's a bit more expensive than the Scarab, as you guys can see there, even if you are able to knock it down to that trade price. And then the final vehicle we've got today is the Rhino Tank, which the Rhino Tank is available for $1.5 million. It is a Pegasus vehicle only. So you guys were kind of seeing what I was going for here. I wanted to go for a vehicle that was around since day one that we sort of got in 2017 that was a competitor, and then obviously the brand new one, the Scarab. Now, why did I choose all three of these vehicles? I chose all of them because they had the same tank treads. So you might be asking, why is the APC not on here? The APC has tires and wheels, so I thought it was almost sort of like a different category, to be honest with you. So the first test I wanted to do with these vehicles was a simple speed test in a straight line. Now, they're tanks. Not all of them are going to be very fast at all, and they certainly aren't the most nimble, but I still wanted to do a quick little speed test to see which one was the fastest. And no surprise, since it is the smallest, the Scarab is definitely the quickest, like by a long shot. So it is way faster than the Khanjali and the Rhino, and the Khanjali is slightly faster than the Rhino Tank. So you're getting a clear advantage here when it comes to speed with the Scarab. I've also heard that the Scarab is a much better climber. Like, for example, it could go up the side of a mountain, like Mount Chiliad, no problem, whereas due to the slow speeds of the Rhino Tank or the Khanjali, those two vehicles might end up struggling a little bit more. So that is a really nice benefit right there to the Scarab, is that it is just incredibly fast. So that's our speed test right there. The next thing we want to do is armor resistance. So let's start with the Khanjali. The Khanjali is by far our strongest tank today, able to withstand a handful of RPG rounds. I think it was either 7 or 8 before it ended up blowing up. Because you're also fully encased inside of the tank itself, you're also 100% resistant to any bullets. So I would say that if you're going for the beefiest, stronger option today, the Khanjali is going to be your best bet. It can survive a ton of explosives. You're essentially protected from all ammo and bullets that could potentially hit you. So if you're going for that option, that's the best. The Scarab, as you know, which we tested the other day, has no bulletproof capabilities. If you're able to shoot through the little crack in the windshield, like there is a lot of armor plating there, but if you are able to get the right shot on, there's no bulletproof resistance, and it can survive 5 RPGs as well as 5 homing missiles, so they're both the same. So you're kind of getting like an intermediate protection. And then you've got the Rhino Tank. And the Rhino Tank is by far the worst out of the ones we're going to be looking at today. It was only able to survive 3 to 4 RPGs with it finally blowing up. So it has worse protection than the Scarab, and it has way worse protection than the Khanjali. Really, again, the only benefit you'd have here is the fact that you're encased in the tank, and thus you wouldn't be able to be hit by any bullets or anything like that. Now, the next thing I want to discuss is how many people can fit in each one. So the Khanjali is able to have 4 people inside. You've got the 2 people up front and the 2 people in the back. I was actually stunned the most that the Scarab also has 4 people that can sit inside too. So you've got the 2 seats up front, and then you've got that little cargo space in the back where 2 additional people can sit as well. I was kind of shocked by that. I didn't think that was actually going to be the case. And then you have the Rhino Tank, and the Rhino Tank only has 1 person that can be on the inside, but can have multiple people sitting on the outside, sort of hanging off, that can use their machine guns. So overall, I would say it's a draw in terms of how many people can fit in each. It's roughly around 4 total. Now let's talk about the weapons next, because there's a huge discrepancy between each one. So starting with the Scarab, because it's brand new, it has the weakest of the weapons today. It only has the 50 caliber machine guns or the 40 watt plasma lasers. That's it. And if you think of a tank like this, it doesn't have the strongest weaponry. So that is something to keep in mind here, that's probably the biggest thing you're going to be sacrificing with the Scarab, is the fact that its weaponry is really not the best. If we move on to the Khanjali probably has the best weapons. It probably has the strongest tank turret. It also has like that supercharged laser that you can fire that will inflict more damage. It also has those like remote turrets on the top that will deflect explosives. So it does get some defense benefits as well. And as you can see, there is a turret on top too that can be manned as well. So overall, you're getting much more offensive firepower out of the Khanjali. And then that leaves the Rhino Tank. The Rhino Tank has the standard tank shell, and it also has the 50 cal turret that you guys can see on the inside that one of the passengers can mount too. So that's the weapon difference right there. The Scarab and the Khanjali both have advantages over the Rhino Tank because they can drop mines. Now, the Khanjali can only drop proximity mines, whereas the new Scarab can drop the 5 new mines like EMP, Sticky, Slick. So due to the fact that it's a new vehicle, it does sort of get a little bit of an advantage right there. So that right there is the weaponry. And the last thing we wanted to test with these tanks was sort of like a stopping power. Was one stronger than another? And really this was kind of like a draw. We just tried to like ram them into each other over and over and over again. And we didn't find that one was particularly stronger over another. So now let's kind of do a final review here, and let's talk about which one of these is the best. Now, not a single one of these vehicles wears the crown of best of the best in every category. So all of them are a little bit different. If you're going for the cheapest option here, the clear winner is going to be the Rhino Tank. It's only $1,500,000. However, you're severely limited to customization. It's a Pegasus vehicle, which means it can't be stored, and it's also pretty limited on its armor capabilities and weaponry. So even though it's at a cheaper price, you're getting a lot less features. Now let's talk about the Khanjali. Clearly the most expensive option that we're looking at today, but also probably the strongest option that we're looking at. Not only in terms of firepower, but defense capabilities as well. This is by far and away the best tank as far as offense and defense goes. And then that leaves the Scarab, which is kind of right in the middle. The Scarab is obviously useful for the new Arena War mode. None of the other tanks are used in any particular modes at all. So that is sort of an added bonus or an added benefit that you get, that you'll be able to use it in the Arena War stuff. It's right in the middle price-wise, and if you are able to get it down to that trade price, it's much cheaper. And it's definitely the fastest of the vehicles that we're looking at today, which makes it great for escaping tricky situations. It also is an amazing climber, apparently, as I mentioned earlier. The fact that it could like go up Mount Chiliad, no problem, is super easy. And because it's brand new, it takes advantage of so many more customization options that none of the other tanks have. This is by far the most customizable tank in Grand Theft Auto Online. And I'm sure some people are going to say, well, Mr. Boss, it's not really a tank. It doesn't have the traditional tank weaponry. Well, if it's not a tank, I don't know what to call it. Would you call it like heavily armored off-road, apocalypse vehicle? I'm really not too sure. So I felt that it was most appropriately categorized with the tanks. I just feel like it's a different variation, just like all the other ones in the game. And that's why we're doing these comparison tests, because there are extreme differences that will cater better to certain play styles versus others. And knowing that information could be the difference between winning the Arena War stuff or just winning PvP fights in free roam. So in my particular situation, if I'm going into battle against other players, I'd probably recommend the Khanjali. If I want to have a little bit more fun or I'm goofing around with NPCs, I think the Scarab is the best bet. But anyways, that right there is my comparison of the Scarab, TM02 Khanjali, and Rhino Tank in GTA Online. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Which of these do you like the best? Do you think the Khanjali is the best? Do you think the new Scarab tank or the old school retro Rhino Tank is the best? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily GTA and Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.